Hey everybody, I'm Mr. Lucas. Welcome back to another day of Broadway for Beginners. Today we are doing a certain type of acting called pantomime. Now, if you notice, the end part of that word is mime, okay? Meaning that we are acting without objects. First off, what we're going to do is we are going to start with our warm-up. So how we're going to do this warm-up is, I want you to pretend that there is an invisible string coming out through your head that straightens up your spine and let it fly up high. So you should be standing nice and tall. Please make sure that you have enough room and that you will not be hitting anybody or any objects. For this warm-up, I want you to tense up your body. Tense up those fists, tense up your body, and I want you to feel all that energy moving around through your body. And with your left hand, I want your energy to start coming out of your left hand. Just your left hand. Nothing else. Just your left hand for now. Oh, and you feel all that energy moving. And then your arm starts moving with it. And your wrist. But not your whole arm yet. And you're getting all that energy. It's flying through that left hand and part of your arm. Now your whole arm. Nothing else is moving. All that energy is going right out of your left arm. And your arm is moving, 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 and it stops. And it tenses up. And then your right hand starts going. Your energy's coming out of your right hand. And then that right hand, all of that energy, you feel that energy move. And then it starts moving to your arm. You're not moving anything above your elbow. Just your arm, maybe you're flopping your wrist around. Your hand, all of that energy is flying out of it. And then you add the rest of your arm. The rest of your arm is so energetic. It is getting rid of all of that energy. Okay, and then stops. Your foot is going to start moving. It's going to start moving, but nothing else. Just your foot. Move your foot. Move all of those weird parts of your feet that maybe you've never moved before. Move them around. And then include your ankle. Start moving that ankle and your foot. Okay, and now add the rest of your leg. You're letting out all of that energy. All that energy is shooting out of your left leg. So much energy. Oh, and it stops. And then your right foot. Start moving your right foot around. Move those toes. Start moving and move that ankle. All the energy is coming out of it. And then you're going to shake. Oh no, all that energy. Shake that foot, shake that, and now all of your leg, your whole right leg. Oh, it's shaking. There's all of this energy flying out of the tips of your toes. It is going like crazy while the rest of your body is staying still. Perfect. And now put it into your whole body. Your whole body is wiggling. Your whole body's moving like there is energy flying out of every part of your body, all your fingers and your toes, and even your head. You're feeling all the energy, and now with me, take one breath in, and one breath out. Perfect, my young friends. That is the kind of energy that we like to build and build before we get into our activity. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick little lesson before we jump into the activity about pantomiming. Pantomiming has been around for ages. Ever since the Greeks and Romans were doing theater way back in the age of BC, it came from a man named Pantomimus. I'm not making that up. See? He was a performer who would dance and not use speech in his performances. When we pantomime, we use our bodies to tell a story. Usually without words. If you've seen a mime, then you understand that mimes don't use words to show what they're doing, but they tell a story. And that's what we're going to learn how to do, is to tell our story using our bodies and how to portray what we are trying to tell. So there are 3 important rules to remember when pantomiming. Silence, show size, and show detail. Now, what I mean by that is silence. Of course, we understand that mimes do not talk. In pantomiming and miming, they are able to make noises, They are just not talking. So for example, I've seen a video of a mime. If a mime is talking on the phone, they're not talking like I would like this. They like to use a thing called gibberish, where it's just a bunch of made up noises and sounds to make it sound like they're talking. For example, so noises like that. Or if they're making noise, they are making noises to try to tell the story. If they're trying to rip a paper, they will make that noise with their mouth. Or if they pop a balloon, they'll use maybe their hands like a clap. Now, show size. When I say show size, if I am doing a pantomime and I'm holding, say, a stack of books. I'm holding a stack of books. If I hold it like this, does this look like a book? Maybe a notebook, like a notebook with papers in it, right? If you hold it like this, it might not be. But if you hold it like this, it looks like I'm holding on to something in this invisible space. And that is what miming is about, and pantomiming, is using our imaginations to create the story and see what we're trying to tell the audience. If I'm telling a story about walking my dog, I want the audience to see what I'm seeing. And I am seeing this dog that I am walking, and maybe he's running around all over the place, right? I want to see that. Show detail. Is it small? If I'm holding a basketball, right? Maybe I'm holding a basketball, it's about this big. Now, is it kind of light? Yeah, a basketball would be pretty light, right? But if I was lifting weights, am I going to lift weights like this? Maybe if you think it's a little baby weight, but if you're trying to show something's really heavy, we put that into our whole body. We lift things, it's really heavy and we have to use our whole bodies. The bigger you make your movements and you show that detail, the more likely the audience will understand what you are trying to say through your body and your language and your actions. Okay, so important facts to remember when pantomiming is facial expressions are very important, body gestures, and hand gestures. What I want you to do is I am going to give you a few objects and I want you to put it into your body and how you would carry it. Now, remember, think about that object. Okay, if you think about that object and visualize, is it heavy? Is it light? How big is it? Is it kind of weird to hold? If I'm carrying a couch, they're weird and kind of awkward shaped, and maybe I have to try to get through a door. Just like we've used in past videos where we've used our bodies to tell character choices, like walking around like a certain character, or like to show our emotions, we're also gonna use our bodies to show the stories that we're telling and like maybe the objects that we're holding. For an example, if I'm carrying this big heavy couch, my knees will bend because I'm trying not to fall underneath the couch. Okay, we want to use our whole bodies. And sometimes if it helps you to lift and lift. If you also notice, being out of breath helps with that. Because when we lift heavy objects, we get out of breath, right? Because it is so heavy to us, and maybe we drop in, we're like, oh. Another great thing if we're wiping that sweat. And feel free to go along and copy these movements as I'm doing them if you would like. If you want to try exploring what I'm doing while I'm doing it, please feel free. Make sure that you have enough room to stand up and do these activities with me. So to start out a little simple, okay? Pretend that you're grabbing a piece of paper, right? And papers are light. They're kind of flimsy. Maybe you'll set it down, and you don't need a real piece of paper during this, okay? And you can set it down in front of you on the table. And with that piece of paper, why don't you pick up a pencil and just start writing? Write something. Write invisible words if you want to. You can write like an invisible note, but think about it. Do you put that pen up to your head as you're thinking? And then maybe you write something? Or maybe you accidentally make a mistake and you need to erase it. So you turn around and you start erasing it. Turn it back and you're going to start writing. And you can pause the video if you want to explore that a little more. The next one that we can do is pick up a big heavy brick. Now, it is up to you. You can make it as big as you want to. Try putting that into your body. Oh. Also, try to make it as real as possible. Try putting that brick on the ground. It's there. See it? See it? And the great thing about this pantomiming is in your head, it can be whatever you want it to look like. When you're imagining that brick, it can be red, it can be gray, it can be blue, it can be whatever color that fits for you, and any size, shape, what it's made of, it is up to you to use your imagination. See that brick on the floor? It's pretty big, or it's pretty small, whichever. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up my brick, and you pick up yours, okay? Okay, so here we go. Whew, gotta warm up my hands to pick up this brick. Oh, and I'm gonna lift. Oh, but I have to lift with my whole body. Oh, oh, oh. Oh no, my legs are shaking. It's so heavy, I don't know if I can hold it. Oh, it's so heavy, and I'm shaking. Maybe it's so heavy, I just need to put it down. Oh, whew. Oh, I'm sweating. That was one heavy brick. Now think about what that brick was made of. Was it made out of concrete? Was it kind of scratchy when you were feeling it? Was it cold? Was it hot? Think of the many different ways that you can imagine these different objects. Now that we've done that, I want to give you one more thing to do. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this guitar. Now guitars might be a little big, they might be a little heavy, right? Oh, and I'm gonna grab that strap and I'm gonna put it over my head. Yeah? Okay. Alrighty, now I'm gonna pretend to play guitar. And if you don't know how to play guitar, we are making it up. I do not know how to play the guitar. This is just what I've seen from people who have played. I'm gonna strum a little bit, then maybe I'm gonna move my fingers like this. Or maybe I just wanna rock out and I'm moving it around. Make up your own little tune with it. Yeah? So you can take it slow. Maybe you're gonna start strumming a little. Or maybe you're at a rock concert and you're like, I'm gonna go ahead, take off that guitar, set it down, and there we go. If there's any of those that you want to explore, please feel free to pause it. Try those little different activities on your own. The guitar, if you want to pick a different instrument, maybe you're going to play the drums. You can easily set back your chair and you can set up that drums. You pick up those drumsticks, find where you're hitting, and go for it. You can pretend to make a whole band with your body. This is a very important activity because it talks all about our actions and our reactions. In theater, when we act, there will be someone who reacts to us. If you watch the movies, when someone gives bad news, do they sit there and go, okay? No. If it is sad news, are they going to start crying? Do they get angry? Those are all reactions, and why we talked about emotions in the first video. That is something very important. If I'm talking on the phone and I'm miming and I'm telling a story that maybe I was on a phone call and something bad happened and I start to cry. Try it. Go ahead, pause the video and try that. Pick up the phone. Start talking like you would talk to your neighbor or your best friend at school or maybe your teacher. And then as you're talking, imagine something happened that they're telling you. Is it bad news? Is it good news? Are you excited? Is it sad news and you start to cry? While it does seem over the top and maybe you're like, I don't cry like that. If you're telling a story through pantomime, the bigger the expression, the more likely we will understand what's happening. And also, if it's a funny scene that you're doing, the audience will probably laugh the bigger you make it. Hopefully you've tried out that phone exercise. And if you have a sibling or a partner that you are watching this with, go ahead and try it with them. Try having a conversation in gibberish and using your hands. If you're telling a story where you're playing football and you threw it and it was a touchdown, use your hands, use your arms, use your body to tell a story. Acting and reacting, like we were talking about. What will happen is one person will decide to be the mirror, the other person will be the mover. Now, this doesn't involve our voices. When we are miming and pantomiming and mirroring each other, we do not use voices because if you start mimicking someone else, it might hurt their feelings if they don't like that. And if you talk into a mirror, mirrors don't talk back. It is all just on movement. You're watching their every move so that it looks just like a mirror. For this activity, if you have a buddy that can be your mirror, great. You guys can pause the video and you can do your own thing. Please take turns on switching off who is the mirror and who is the copier. The purpose of this is to try to create a mirror where you're following along with everything they're doing. Remember, you can also use my facial expressions when we're doing this activity. I want you to start mirroring me. We'll start in a neutral position. And I want you to... Don't worry too much about what arm. You can follow what arm is on the screen, or what part of the body is on the screen. Okay? Follow me. Again, please make sure you have enough room for this activity. Now, that was just a couple of things. If you want to try it in front of a mirror, you can go ahead and do that as well. If you don't have someone else to mirror off of you. Or the next time you see a friend, it's a great activity to try. But please make sure that you take turns so that everybody has a chance to go. That was our lesson on pantomiming today. That miming activity is perfect for all ages. So you can do it with a younger sibling or an older sibling or a parent, and it works just as well. If you need lots of room, you can also try doing it outside. You can pick it up and take it wherever you need to go. Well, I'm Mr. Lucas, and I am signing off. Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you in the next video.